The idea of labeling women as evil is rooted in historical and cultural stereotypes, often perpetuated by societal norms. Throughout history, women have sometimes been portrayed as temptresses, witches, or seductresses in various myths, legends. These portrayals have contributed to the notion of women being associated with evil or negative qualities. The suppression of women and the history of violence against them is a complex and deeply ingrained issue that spans cultures, societies, and historical periods. Throughout history, women have often been subjected to various forms of discrimination, oppression, and violence due to patriarchal systems that prioritize male dominance and control. One reason for the suppression of women is the unequal distribution of power and resources between men and women in many societies. Historically, men have held positions of authority and influence, while women have been relegated to subordinate roles. This power imbalance has led to the systemic marginalization of women and the normalization of gender-based violence. Violence against women has taken many forms, including physical violence, sexual assault, emotional abuse, economic exploitation, and institutional discrimination. These forms of violence have been perpetuated through social norms, cultural practices, legal systems, and economic structures that uphold male privilege and reinforce gender hierarchies. Additionally, historical attitudes and beliefs about gender roles have contributed to the suppression of women. Traditional gender norms often prescribe rigid expectations for women's behavior, limiting their autonomy, agency, and opportunities for advancement. Women who deviate from these norms or challenge male authority are often punished or ostracized, further perpetuating cycles of violence and oppression. Efforts to address the suppression of women and violence against them have made significant strides over time, but challenges persist. It requires comprehensive approaches that address not only the symptoms, but also the root causes of gender inequality and discrimination. This includes promoting gender equality, challenging harmful gender stereotypes, empowering women economically and politically, strengthening legal protections, and promoting education and awareness about gender-based violence. Economic disempowerment. Women have historically been economically disadvantaged compared to men, which has contributed to their suppression. Limited access to education, employment opportunities, and property rights have made women dependent on men for financial support, leaving them vulnerable to exploitation and abuse. 4. Weaponization of gender roles. Gender roles have been weaponized to maintain power dynamics and suppress women. For example, stereotypes about women's emotional instability or moral inferiority have been used to justify denying them rights and opportunities for advancement in various spheres of life. Intersections with other forms of discrimination. Women's experiences of violence and suppression are often compounded by other forms of discrimination, such as racism, classism, ableism. Women who belong to marginalized groups may face additional barriers to accessing resources and support when they experience violence. 6. Resistance and activism. Despite facing pervasive violence and suppression, women throughout history have also been agents of resistance and change. Women's movements and feminist activism have challenged patriarchal systems, advocated for women's rights, and raised awareness about the prevalence of violence against women. These movements have led to significant legal and social reforms aimed at addressing gender inequality and ending violence against women. By understanding the complexities of the history of violence against women and the factors contributing to their suppression, we can better address these issues and work towards creating a more just and equitable society for all genders. If you like this video, subscribe to my channel and leave a comment below so that we can become part of constructive discussions.